another box. Now, since it's so clear, I scratched out his address, so it wouldn't upset our viewers. But this has come from Steve, one of our wonderful fans, very kind person who watches us on YouTube. And I already know what it is, Rob, because it says right here, 4 coffee bags.
Well,
Jonathan.
It's a good thing. We're almost out.
No, we're not. We still have...
Yeah, we are.
Oh, well, yes. Listen, we drink about 7 or 8 pots a day.
Ooh.
Oh, look.
Hey.
A Disney Channel. Oh, I'll give that to my daughter.
No.
No, that's for my son. Look.
We'll give that to Haley.
Hey, Todd and TNT crew. It's Steve from Top Tier Arcade. Please accept my gifts as a thank you. Oh, yes, for the Street Fighter board sale and the shout out in video 1318 about my Street Fighter game being in the It movie and my overall knowledge and entertaining video and how great you really are. People don't appreciate you being so wonderful and so great.
He's making all this up.
It's all bullshit.
And so fat and so... What was true up to entertaining videos. That's true. Included are 4 bags, oh my gosh, of Canadian coffee in a Disney spinner I won at work that I think your daughter Tammy would enjoy. Look at that. I already knew that.
That's nice.
Would enjoy. Tammy, she's doing her cover song, her cover album. A whole bunch of Disney songs. They've never done these songs before. They've never been covered before. It's hard to believe since they were originally produced. So Disney is very excited to see how this will sell. But she still needs a lot of money. You can help support her. Please, just go to her GoFundMe page. And she'll reward you with big mentions on the videos. Okay, all the best to you and your family and the crew. Keep up the great work. We do great work.
What were they watching?
Okay,
watching horror
look. Okay, Howling Wolf, medium dark. Musk Goga.
No, Muscat.
Something.
Maple.
Black Bear, deluxe or dark, and the Loon Cold.
Well, that's him. He's loony. So that's Todd's coffee. The
That
loony.
was very kind of you. Yes, they're all waiting, Jonathan. They're all waiting. Now we have some. This is really neat. You're gonna love seeing these games because as we explored these little baby Bally pinball machines, we realized they're actually very well built. So we're going to show you the differences between the 2 models we have. Let's do it now.
Let's do it later. What a fine game.
Frank,
Evil.
look what we have. And we're having Reanimator coffee today.
Was that a movie?
The man that came in yesterday and got some games, he brought this to us. He's a very fine man. It was very kind of him. He loves us.
I think a marionette. That's what Robbie is, your puppet.
Rob, it's Halloween. We want to get out of here.
Well, take your mask off.
Okay.
Leave it on there.
Well, listen. Obviously, you can see this is on legs and that is not.
Well, why
However,
is that on?
we have a very rare occurrence where you can actually see and compare 2 of Bally Midway's home, as they call it, the professional edition of actual pinball machines that were just in name only. EVEL KNIEVEL, based on the 77 machine, and the Fireball, based on the 1970 mechanical. Now, they came up with this. Now, this is interesting. They came out with a digital Fireball 2 in 1981, in 1985 the Fireball Classic, but they actually decided to base this on the 1970 mechanical. Now, what's really neat is when we got these machines, we actually got a manual in the Fireball. These came from 2 separate places. And Rob, look at this. First of all, it has a very nice manual. Okay. Look, the owner's manual. Look, they've even coded it. 606-1000. Now, doesn't that sound technical? Here we are, the Midway Corporation.
Can you reach them on their cable address?
Now look, you have just acquired the finest pinball machine in the world. You can look forward to years of family fun and entertainment. Robbie, years. 40 years. It's been 40 years. They were right. Please register your enclosed warranty card. Wait a minute. Here it is. They're going to warranty this machine, okay, for 90 full days. So it does not cover bulbs, fuses, and rubber bands. They don't cover the rubbers. Creeps. The warranty is void unless if anything's made by an authorized Bally. And look, there's that. There's the model. And there's the serial number 4906. Is this the back door?
Yeah, no, it's what's on the boards of this game 4906.
Okay, look at that. Nichols Pools. Let's see what else is here. It's the original receipt from Nichols Pools. Look at that, and they're still in business. They don't sell Bally pinballs anymore. One pinball, Fireball, $629. Okay, $629 plus tax. Great. Okay, so it's $666. Okay, delivery date January 2nd of '78. Now look, I did a little comparison. In 2017 dollars, Robbie, that's $2,441.53.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, the stern, Frank made a point. He says, how much was the sterns, the pin? Remember they made that
Avengers,
machine, similar size.
Mm-hmm.
And they made, I think, 3 different models. They retailed for $3,000 or $3,200. So that's close in line. But they didn't have easy service. This, you're going to see how...
They did a little bit more than a few rudimentary beeps and boops, too.
Now look, Frank. Here's a spare flasher bulb. We didn't need it, of course. We put LEDs in. We're going to show you that in a second. What else do we have? Oh, service. They had to get service. Rob, look. This matches up to this. The GNR Service Company. That's Guns N' Roses Service Company. The Guns N' Roses were doing service back then.
Just before they were big shot
apparently,
rock stars.
In January 5th of '78, they had to come out, and it looks like July 11th of '78 they had to come out again.
How much did it cost?
There's no prices. I wonder if. Do you think it was warranty? I wonder how good this company is. Rob, let's go over and call the Guns N' Roses Service Company. What do you think? Do you think they'll answer? All right, let's see. It's ringing. Oh, I'll put it on speakerphone. It's ringing. No answer. Still no answer. Guns N' Roses?
Welcome to the jungle. Can I help you, man?
I didn't think you were going to answer. It rang and rang. I have a problem with my pinball machine, and it hasn't worked since day one. Now, we did buy it a while ago, but...
Dude, it's probably just a capacitor or something, man. We'll send it out to you, man.
You will?
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
You don't even know what a capacitor is.
You don't even know what a capacitor is.
I have the capacitor to know what a capacitor is.
Hey, oh, God. I knew it was a spoof.
What are you talking about, man?
You've been found out.
Welcome to the jungle.
Everyone's really going to hate you now, Robbie.
Why didn't you answer it right away?
Because I couldn't answer your freaking phone. You got buttons over here.
I'm sorry.
The smash
It's just
screen.
like every other cell phone out there. There's a button that says green,
Except
and you push the
mine.
green button and it answers.
Well, I pushed it like push, 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 push. And then I said, well,
The
let
real
me try
Todd
something
Tuckey.
else.
You
So I went,
ruined my take. Now I'm
Like
going to have
that.
to film it over again. Here.
Oh, bull.
here, wait. There. Here, you left your earrings home.
That's our green screening.
Yeah, right.
We were green screening the Angry video game nerd last night. You ruined that gag.
No, I didn't. You ruined it. It was your stupid idea.
You're not going to believe it, but all that was scripted, including my tantrum.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, these people are upset now. Now, let's go over some basics. I have changed my opinion. I
You're
have
an
changed my
idiot.
opinion.
That opinion hasn't
We
changed.
all agree on that.
Are very well built because we finally got an order. We retailed EVEL KNIEVEL for $11.99. This is also going to be available for $11.99.
But we'll give it to you for $11.98 if you buy it today.
Cash
We'll
only.
pay cash.
And sequential $2
Now,
bills.
I want to show you something about these games. The flippers are always active, but the computer in the back is off until you start it, so there's no display. So originally, if you walk up to it, you think the game's blown or something, but once you hit the start button, that programs it. Now, the lockdown bars are held in by 3 screws. Now, of course, today's games, they're latches. They're no longer, but this was a very good way to access these games. But I want you to look at the layout, okay? The Playfield has all different art, but they're exactly the same.
With one exception.
And yes, and where is that, Frank? Look at it and see if you can see the difference. Very clever idea. Very clever idea of Bally. Yes, you can see it. This way, somebody could buy a Fireball and an EVEL KNIEVEL, have them next to each other, and they would get slightly different gameplay. Do you see it? That's right. The third flipper. Just one here, and there's 2 here.
But there's also only one slingshot.
That's right. Slingshot here, slingshot
Traditional
here,
layout of 2 slingshots. Okay.
and just one. And we're going to show you how clever Bally was and how neat that was. Now, we've put all LEDs in this, in both machines, actually. As a matter of fact, whoever did it, wasn't that clever? They put a Comet Pinball Fireball up here, okay, and then they have 2 color changers here. Really nice, isn't it,
Walt
Rob?
came up with that idea, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think Walt did that.
Yeah, I think Walt did that one. It was a very nice idea. Okay, we're going to continue our comparisons. Rob, actually, can you slide the glass off this? Because I'm going to show them the flipper layout. And while you do that, I'm going to lift this up. Now, to make things simple, Bally made a simple 2-board solid-state board system to run. I love lifting the Playfield up with the ball in there. Now, Rob, you're going to lay out the thing the same way, but don't be stupid like me and grab the ball before it falls. All right, now, look right here while he does that. See the card here, okay, Midway Manufacturing, bottom Playfield. They only made one bottom Playfield, and they only made one top Playfield, okay? Now, bulb sockets, just like we use today. Now, think about that. There's the LED. I just thought of something, Frank. They were using twisty sockets first. All the other machines, did you grab the ball?
There was no ball.
Oh, good. That makes it better. All the other machines of its day were using 44s. So this machine was running on all 555s before anybody else. Now, Bally also didn't get cheap here. They have real Bally flipper mechanisms, those heavy-duty, dependable mechs, identical
commercial
to
units.
what's in the commercial units.
Thanks, Parrot.
Isn't that something? We have not done anything with this yet, so we're still going to work on this. But look here. Do you see the cutout for the real slingshot assemblies? See, there's none here because they have instead put that double crank, 1 coil flips both of the flippers. Very clever. Very clever. Use of the linkage. Pop bumpers are the same. The thing I noticed is that, look, these are reversed and they're the other way. So the coils are one way and one on the other. I also noticed that these are slide-on terminals on this model, and everything is soldered on that.
These were originally, but I think in repairs.
Well, I guess over the years, maybe.
Yeah, like the one I had to repair the one wire, the clip broke.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess we shouldn't get. They're probably all slide on, because my guess is if they had to do service in the home, a homeowner had a problem, they knew the problem had to be traced to either one of these two boards, one of these 6 mechanical mechanisms, or the main board in the back, or power supply. Now look, same tilt mechanism. Somebody has that in reverse. We prefer the original system that way, but people do it differently. And the speaker placement's different. Notice on there, it's pointed down and it's floor firing, where this one is up in the air and there's no holes to dissipate the sound. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we're going to take the boards out and show you details on them. Now look right here, that's the power supply system, the transformer. Okay, nice heavy duty one, Rob.
Yeah.
They did a very nice job on this. Our push button start and our standard tungsten endoscope switches, okay? And they also use the same shooter. And we put a new spring on that. You can see the difference in that. Now, as typical with any game of this era, all of the header pins were ice cold. We had to reflow them. Look at the beautiful construction of this board. It is thick. You would have to work to crack this, Robbie. You would have to work hard to crack it. Now, did that game start? Is that why we had to beat?
Yes.
Okay, so that game is in session. Now, we pretty much covered this. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's walk around the back. We'll look at the boards, and then we'll give you details. Frank, can you squeeze? It's going to be hard for you. I can easily get through this, but you, on the other hand, you're able to squeeze. Isn't you, Robbie?
And then we have to squeeze it all.
Look,
See, there's your
one simple board.
496.
Oh, there we are. And
496.
And this model, this is serial number 1998. Well, do you think they made 5,000 of them?
At least.
Look, 1998 here, EVEL KNIEVEL. This had to have some Bondo work on the head. It's very simple wood. Stupid doorbell. People ruining my videos.
Yeah, customers bringing money. The stupid people.
Right.
Stupid. Take their money somewhere
Don't
else.
worry, we're going to show you these boards in a minute. I wanted to show you the harness, the cables coming up are 2 wide connectors here. These are the same ones used.
There's a wide connector. Like a dinner
Frank,
fork.
do you know how fat you are? Do you have any idea how big you are?
Oh, I know how big I am. Don't worry about that.
These are just used in all the professional games. Bally spent a lot of time designing these boards, and you're going
I
to
think
see
you have
how
about 2-3
nice
hours in there.
Now look, the 3 cables, the game, power supply, game, Playfield, and this is the power for the lights. So that lovely little,
Don't get shocked. And 3 light bulbs draw a lot of power.
no, there's 4 if you count. 1,
I'm
2,
not counting.
3,
I work at
4.
TNT.
And once again, Frank, I think that's pretty amazing that they were using 555s on. This is the only commercial game.
Here,
the
I
only
gotta
game
go
they
call
did.
Dennis. Can you take the camera for a second?
I'm trying to.
So amazing.
I'm trying to show you. Now look, I wanted to point out something else. Now look, the head construction. Do you see how it's changed? It got thicker and more durable. Notice
Speaking of
at this
thicker,
head here
this is a really big head right there.
Thicker and more durable.
is holding up a little better than this. So Bally was making some designs. Who knows where this may have gone if they continue to make these. And as I said earlier, I have changed my opinion of these. I think these were very well made. Actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do,
We were
Rob.
screaming it was junk when we brought it in that day.
You said it was junk.
Said it was total.
Well, I didn't quite say that, Frank, and I had to bloop that out. But let me tell you
What?
something.
You only blooping it out because you're a pussy. Maybe I'll catch your bird.
Where's the bird?
We have a bird.
He's
You'll
still
see it in the
sleeping.
later
Oh, that
video.
bird
We
is
have a
fine.
bird in the back, but that's the video
Sounds like a
after
personal
this one.
edition.
We have a bird that entered when the waterman came to deliver the water. So we do have a real bird now. Once I
So what
catch
happened if
him,
the bird
we'll have
delivery
a
guy
bird.
came with
What
water
if I
sneak
give him
in?
the bird?
Anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's go right now to the footage of the circuit board design. Well, look at this. This is in fact the lower playfield from the Bally game. Row of diodes. There's one diode for each light bulb and for each switch. Isn't that nice and neat? And you can see everything is micro switch. You know, this was really clever because if a customer had a switch lane that didn't work where one switch was bad, the whole board could be removed by the customer and sent out for an exchange or repair. Look, they even put the target here. These are the spinners. Isn't that nice? These are the slingshots. So that kind of fooled us earlier in the video. The cutouts for 2 slingshots, and of course the other machine didn't have the second. It probably had the same cutout, but it didn't have the switch mounted. And these are the roll-through lanes at the bottom, and your single connection that was able to run all the light bulbs and all the switches through one connection. How clever, courtesy of the blocking diodes. Beautiful job. Now, there were 4 of them, as you know. There were 4 made, actually you don't know. The first was Fireball, okay? Came out in October of '76. That's the only one we have a production number of about 10,000 machines made. Now, they ran that, reissued it several more times after that. So that we think was the biggest run. The next one that came out was Captain Fantastic, okay? Have no idea how many, but that was '77. EVEL KNIEVEL was 1978. You can see some nice ads from these here. And then it ended with Galaxy Ranger, also in 1978. All using these same boards here. Here's the top playfield, right here. Okay, your 4 rollovers, your pop bumper switches, isn't that nice? And the lights, and all through one connector here. And then your row of diodes. Really clever. And these are thick, look at this. These are well-made boards. Bally Midway Space Invaders power supplies were made with the same white material. The power supply, oh, there's 2 systems. System 1, Series 1 and Series 2. This is the Series 1 power supply. This is probably the one that's been out the most. Now you can see that this one here had some issues here. Now Frank, can you tell us about what you did with this?
The 18-volt Zener diode and the resistor usually burn up. That's 99% of the problems when they come in and not working. So you just replace them. You see how I have it mounted nice and high so it can get some air around it. If you
Unlike
look
the
underneath-
original ones, right? The
underneath-
original ones were.
Well, the resistor was high, but the diode was flush mounted. And I had to do some extensive trace repairs right there. But it works good. Should never have a problem.
I see you beefed these up,
Yep, I change all the diodes. Big heavy duty ones because they get hot too.
and they're high up off the board.
Yep. New caps.
And the smooth diode, those caps, and these little ones were okay, right?
Yeah, little 10 ohms.
And that cap there. Now, what we've decided to do is if you have a home unit and you don't want to fool with a power supply, if you take it out and ship it to us, we will rebuild it and test it while we still have that Fireball in the showroom.
Yeah, I actually stocked up on those diodes and resistors, so
Right. So we'll fix yours and send it back. I don't know if it will fix your problem, but this is probably the weak link because the capacitors are 40 years old. Okay, we're charging $150 plus return shipping. So you pack up your board, you ship it to us, we will fix it, we'll change everything in it, we'll make sure it's running, okay, for $150, Even if one of these is bad, we'll change that if they're bad. But more than likely, it's capacitors and bad
Well,
connections.
the ones I've seen, it's usually that Zener diode that causes the majority of the problems.
Now, there's one possible exception. If one of your pins is burned up, okay, you can take a picture of it. We'll also send you a new pin or whatever you may need. You may have to add that to the plug, because didn't we have one that had a bad connector
Yeah.
on it? So we may have to, there may be an extra charge depending on, you may have to do some work at your end if your connector here is bad. Okay? So that's what we're going to offer, a special deal. Now, the last part is what they called, what did they call this? The brain. The game brain. There it is. Bally has laid everything out. Let's see what they call it on this side. Bally Company, patent pending. Okay. But the advertisements call this the game brain. I just flashed up one of the game brains. And the
You
game
should study
brain.
that because you don't have one of them.
Oh! Now, it's running on, what are these here, Frank? I can't quite read them.
That's the CPU.
And is it a, what's
It's
it?
an oddball. It's like a 3850 or something.
3850.
The other two are PSUs, which are program storage units, where the game program is stored.
This one, as you can see, the gold top, that means there's some gold in that. And then there's other chips here that run light bulbs and such. So this sends the information out and also runs our display circuit too. A nice little LED glass mounted in there. And then these shield the light bulbs from getting into the display area. And then your row of coils, okay? I guess these are, I guess for extra coils and such, if there's some in there. Nice, it's very nice laid out. Now look, these are the test switches. We didn't point out, but there's a test and play, okay, and a 50,000 and a 100,000 switch. So you could change one of the features on it, and then there's the volume pop that comes through. So the amplifier is on this board too. So one of these here, where would our amp be, Frank? I guess we should have looked
Good researching it.
better. We didn't research it. There's no
You
information.
didn't research it.
Well, there is some stuff. By the way, a lot of those pictures all came from the International Pinball Database. That's J. And I am going to take detailed pictures of these, high-def pictures of these boards, so we can share them with everybody else. So
Why are
people
you
can-
great?
Well, it's a series of great pills. You can see we have the LEDs in here. Isn't that really clever? So basically, now, oh, you know what? The last thing I want to show you is the transformer. We're going to show you that in a minute. But look, basically right there is the whole machine. So if somebody had a problem in a private home, they could fix it. Now this points out, this was an advertisement from JSA. It was a company that's now bankrupt, an Illinois company that used to write up really nice things about things they were selling and put it on a page. They had a really neat catalog. I really liked watching it. Stereo equipment, all kinds of neat stuff. And he would write a really nice thing about it and sell them. He was selling them for $7.95. Oops. An Illinois residence at sales tax, plus the freight, which he said was about $34 from our facilities in Northbrook to Los Angeles. So, if you've been watching the ads, it looks like these machines sold anywhere from $629, which is what our customer bought that Fireball, up to $795. That was the range and nothing higher. This would probably be your highest price. And the guarantee of satisfaction, listen to what this man says. We back Fireball with an outstanding service program made possible by plug-in commercial components. We provide the opportunity to use Fireball for 1 month without obligation, and if 1, it does not live up to every one of your expectations, 2, for any reason you get tired of playing it, or 3, you don't find it more challenging after 1 month than when you first played it, give us a call and we'll pick it up at your door at our expense and refund the money. We provide fast service turnaround time should service ever be required. We have been in business for over a decade, providing the same conscientious service that has built our company into America's largest single source of quality space-age components. They're bankrupt now.
Play the game for free for a month and pick it up at their expense, of course.
Oh.
This wasn't as much fun as I thought it would be.
And here's something interesting. If you paid more than $600 for either your TV set, stereo system, or pool table, you should consider a pinball machine. You'll have more fun and action than watching TV, listening to your stereo, or playing pool. And when guests pop in, your Fireball will be the talk and highlight of their visit. It's still true today. This was written 40 years ago. When I was, let's see, Frank, I was 21 when that was written. 21 years old. Now I'm 62. No, I was 22. Well, frag. 40 years later, and this thing is still working. So I guess he was right. It's really well made. And we know that the Fireball, this came out, needed 2 service calls. I don't know what he did, whether they were minor. Could be a rubber broke or some kind of adjustment. But I'd say this is held up pretty darn good, Frank. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's the best thing. Look at this ad. Heathkit had it for sale. Heathkit.
Wasn't that a cat?
Build it yourself. Look, and that's a good deal. They were fun. Heathkits were fun. Build your own TV, build your own pinball. So they obviously gave you all these boards blank in a box, and then you put this whole thing together. My guess is that you did this too. You built the board together. That would have been really neat to see, wouldn't it?
If I take everything off and put it in a box, do you think it's fun putting it together?
Oh. Here, let me show you that power supply now. All right, here's the transformer, Frank. Now,
That's Todd, I know.
now look, this was inside the machine, and when you take
No,
this
it's actually on the
off,
outside. It was next to the flipper buttons.
now look, oops.
Don't break it. It's the only
I
one.
can't, it's the
Don't
only
lay it
plug.
back and break
No,
You're going to break the circuit
Who
breaker.
designed it?
Bally.
Now look, do you see this? This is an old TV set interlock plug. Years ago when I started working when I was 13 years old with a
Didn't
TV
have
repair
TVs
shop.
back then.
And you slid this in. This was the #1 replacement thing because the cord would break at the end here. Slid this out, pulled it out. Later they became polarized. This was before polarization, Frank, but somebody did change the plug of this. Somebody put this thing on it. But it's interesting they used a TV set power connector. So if the customer pulled this off, he disabled the power inside this
Wouldn't
thing.
get electrocuted.
Because there's our 110 circuit breaker. This is the on-off switch, the push button. Same one they used in Miss Pac-Man. And our display fuse, because this transformer had to supply 6 volts for the lights. Okay, and then the raw voltage too. I'm going to guess the 6 volts is probably the 2 yellow wires. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, probably.
I think you're right.
Pretty nice, huh? Very heavy. Now, there are words I mentioned earlier, Series 1 and Series 2. They basically, from what I could research, Fireball and EVEL KNIEVEL and another run of Fireballs had Series 1 boards. That's all the boards you see in this power supply. Okay? Series 2 was Captain Fantastic, and Galaxy Ranger, and a third run of Fireball. Now here's the power supply from IPDB. What that one looks like, I've never seen one. But that's the other power supply. It looks like it has less parts on it than this. Maybe we'll get one of those in. I've never seen them. We actually have a few more Fireballs in the warehouse, don't we, Frank?
There's a head up on the shelf, too.
Yeah, I think we
think
we
the
never
board
put them
might be-
together. Now, if these start to sell, we're going to set some more up. There's no doubt. But that's pretty sharp stuff.
Don't cut yourself.
And finally, Frank, before we go back up front, Frank found this statement: Fireball, unlike the new TV games, that means like Pong and Odyssey and all that stuff, is partially a game of chance and thus can never be mastered. Even an experienced professional can lose to a youngster. A daughter can beat her father, grandma can beat grandpa, and the surprise of an upset is what adds to the long-lasting play value. Look at that. And
Well, it's pretty interesting that they would go to say that, since so many pinball machines were smashed for years because they were thought to be gambling devices, so they're actually going to take that
they're
plunge.
also, but no, they're skill. They're a game of skill.
Well, it was proven.
There is some chance there, but boy, they're a game of skill. And I have a lot of skill, don't I, Frank? Oh,
You're
no.
a skilled eater.
Oh, pizza tonight.
You pack
Anyway,
the calories away.
I printed this also, back-to-back printing of the manual that is also online on the IPDB. You can see Series 1, the 3 games, and Series 2. And there's actually extensive tests. It's very, very well laid out.
We don't need to do all that because according to that pinball computer sheet, it says the game fixes itself. But obviously you never bothered to read it.
It tells you, just like all of the Bally stuff, you can activate the solenoids, drivers, a switch stuck. It gives you some codes. The light bulbs. The system, Series 2 boards were a little more smarter. So they were a little more sophisticated. I'll be looking forward to finding one of these System 2s at one point. I've never seen any of them. Maybe you have. But anyway, let's go back up front. Now, wasn't that enlightening?
Click.
Now, let's finish here. On-off switch is a push button. Okay? Circuit breaker, in case something overheats or something for a spin reason. The customer was able to press that and release the game, get it back in. And this little connector sticks through the back of the machine so you can adjust the volume. The back door. It's visible actually. It doesn't stick out of the cardboard. So you can put a little thing in there and turn the volume
Doesn't
up
stick
and down.
out? Sounds like a personal problem.
You have to use a screwdriver
I think it's
to
very
adjust it.
well. Now you see the whole design. We had one more thing to show you in this now. Well, you notice everything is identical. The lighting, all the layouts are identical. I guess that's it. So let's go back to the front. Rob, can you lower the Playfield of EVEL? Because we are going to play that. We'll deal with this game when we do a video of now. I think I should point this out now. This man right here, he's very upset, he's very distraught, and that is because he wants to get this delivered because it's Halloween and he wants to go home with his babies and have fun. So we are closing early today on Halloween, which is something new we never did before. Rob, can you go back and turn it off and on so I can give him the ultimate experience on the gameplay on this? Please. I would appreciate it. I think it's important that you get the full experience with this machine. Push the button. A lesser man would break down. He would.
Getting clothes 10 times smaller.
That's not where it was 47 years ago.
It's the push button I showed you in the video earlier.
I wasn't in the video.
Look at the hole. Look at the hole. Are you good at holes?
Plug it back in.
Hey, there's a good solution.
Now you know why he qualifies for that.
That guy qualifies for legend status.
Is that my Wallace? My Wallace. His son's getting a game. The games. Gottlieb the games. It's going to be his game. Okay. All right, now, once again, idle. Nothing's lit, just the game overlay. Okay? And, of course, the computer is actually running that. Because when I hit the start button, the flippers do work, as you saw, but when I hit the start button, it loads the program in. One player, only one display, but that will move along, and our 5 balls in play. I add a second player by pushing Mr. Button again, third, and fourth. Okay? Very nice so far, huh? And look, at the top, we spell evil. 3,000 points. In fairness to the game, well, this was certainly better than the plastic toys they were selling. The plastic toys were probably only $30, $40 back then, but this was kind of nice. And we have our tonomatics, our PAL. Okay, you spell evil. Now look, when you finish spelling evil, now look, when you finish spelling evil, it turns on your extra balls. Look. Let's see what happens. We're in the money.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
Nice, huh? And your other pal. Now, just like the other game, you have, oh, by the way, these are micro switches. They're not leaf switches. They use all micro switches here. I think they thought they would be easier to maintain in a home. And that has plenty of light. That is not, oh, is that a micro switch or not?
Yes, it's all micro switches.
Oh,
A lame attempt.
exciting game.
Do you think this guy got a $666?
1977, nobody came home with a $2,400 Christmas present. Back then, that was a lot of money. A console color television back then, probably, Rob, was like $500 or $600. You know, big 25-inch television. Now look, 1, 2, 3. 1, to get the double bonus. 2, you're up to the double bonus, see? So I got the double bonus. And then 3 is your triple bonus. So you get 1, 2, and 3, you get a triple bonus. Let's see how it lands. Not bad. There's another. Not bad, huh, Rob? And of course, once it finishes, we get to shoot again, so the same player. So we're going to drain this quick. There's no save. By the way, there's no switch on this one. So it's dead. Now, it didn't. Oh, it didn't like that. Letting me go again. Oh, yes, that's important. I forgot.
The excitement.
If one of these switches doesn't work, you can hit stuff, and the game, I believe, keeps cycling. It doesn't lose a ball. It has to record one of these switches. Then
The clock is appropriately playing.
now it's counting down. Did you see how it counted down?
Flatter.
Now the second player is up.
Here I am, Camp Granada.
We don't have time. He has to get out of here. Otherwise, so I didn't look. I didn't score anything. Once again, you have to go through here to activate it. Now watch what it does now on this one. Interesting when it counts down. So anyway, you all get the idea. Look, Jonathan. Now look at him. You want to go home to your baby too.
Wanna leave? Let's go.
Baby Haley, little baby Nathan.
Screwed him yesterday.
Look at them. I hate children. I mean, I love children. Okay, I think we're done. What did you think of EVEL KNIEVEL?
Take that ball out.
This is pretty sharp. I'm not finished. Okay, I'll take the ball. All right, look. Customer wanted a simple game to start. He has his 30-day window to switch it. He may bring it back, who knows. But let's see if he does. If not, we'll have the fireball available. I just want to get the screws out, the lockdown screws, because these boys have to lock this baby down. We don't want anything to go wrong. Now, right here, there's mounting screw. So, can you get a Phillips? So we'll put one Phillips screw in to hold the panel in. Okay, and then we'll move on. I forgot the tilt. Isn't that neat? This was ahead of its time. It really was. Bally did a great job with these. They're much better than I thought they were.
Way to go, Bally.
And look, we even have the instruction cards, safe and sound. Oh, and here, look, the ratings. Under 40,000, you're an amateur. Look at that. Super, champ, fantastic wizard, and professional. What a clever idea, Rob. It's a clever idea to do that. That's pretty smart. And the ball and play, I don't think this, no, it's 5 balls automatically. And most important, folks, this is the most important thing of all, right here. It is the professional home model.
Glass?
Glass. Give him the scratchy. They don't like my jokes. Guess nobody does. Rob, can you unplug Mr. Evil?
I'll turn the switch off.
It's about one of the, yeah, find the switch.
Ow.
So useless. Ha! Dun, dun, dun. Where's the bar? Buttercups. Here it is.
I don't see more than 9.
8 o'clock Central Time.
Oh.
Okay.
8 o'clock Central.
They love it when I do that.
Who's they? See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see.
Oh! Get out! Get out! Are you ready for Halloween? I'm going to give him a really good face here. Watch this. He didn't react. I spent all that time. How about this one? He didn't like that one either. Good night.
Ha ha!